All right, thank you so much for logging on to statechamps.tv. Maybe you're checking this out on Facebook. Maybe you're checking this out on Twitter. This is the online version of The Buzz. We call it the OT with Markowski, a weekly conversation where we dive into various topics. He is Tom Markowski of the Detroit News. My name is Lauren Plant, host of State Champs. All right, well, let's get into it. You know, in fact, why don't we just kind of wrap up what we were talking about on the television side of things. And it's about this case happening. It really is unique, and it's one of these things that is really getting a lot of traction now. In fact, there's a website that's, I think it's let'emplay.us or something like that, and it's got all the news articles, all the attention it's getting, and it's around this young gentleman that has Down syndrome.
Eric Dompierre.
Yep.
He actually played last season.
Right.
On the legislative floor in Lansing. They showed a clip of him making a three-point shot in the game, and the crowd going nuts. Now, that in itself should tell you something about the situation. Let him play. I mean, who would the MHSA be hurting in this instance? I don't think anybody. And I understand their point. I've read their points. They don't want to set precedent here. They don't want to establish that, okay, we did it for this child, we got to do it for all the rest, and I disagree with that. You can take each case as an individual case. Sure, that would add to your workload, but it's worth it for these kids that are at a disadvantage. Eric Dompierre had to be held back a year, and it wasn't anything to do with high school. It was early in his life, and so that's why the age question comes in here. This age question has come up before, mind you. It just has not hit this type of note.
Absolutely, and what the age issue is, if you turn 19 before September 1st, if you turn 19 September 2nd, you're golden.
You're fine.
You can play. But if you turn 19 before September 1st, you are disqualified from competing in high school sports according to the MHSAA. Now, you can play, but basically what that means is your school, or I guess, I don't know if they'll say the whole school, but definitely your team is not going to be allowed to compete in the state tournament, which of course is everything. Right. So they're trying to get a waiver to say, look, certain circumstances should be considered. Allow this young gentleman to play, and he talked. There was a Senate hearing at the city capitol, at the state capitol on Wednesday, and he spoke and he talked about just what it means to him and how depressing it's going to be for him if he's not allowed to play.
Absolutely. And you look at the learning experiences here and think of the teammates for the quote-unquote normal kids out there who can play with a child with Down syndrome, and just have them learn more about a child with Down syndrome. Granted, they go to school with them, but to compete in athletics with them, and also the other teams that compete against them. This is all about life learning experiences, and this guy is not going to change the outcome of a championship season, whether Ishpeming wins their conference or wins a district or anything like this. This kid just wants a chance to play, and it was really unique. You hit upon it, Lauren. You know, if he doesn't get to play, he won't be able to put on a uniform. He won't have to let one of the girls at school wear his uniform during the class days. And you can imagine what that means for a senior in high school. He's
going to have issues with assimilating to life as an adult just from having Down syndrome. That's a natural. So this is...
He's had it through all his life.
Absolutely. And this is the one thing that brings me joy. Let him play.